Hello. I was on Facebook, the first day of the new year, 1st of January obviously, looking at the negativity that people are peddling. We call it peddling, shall we? Very odd, isn't it, really, you know? Two people in particular said exactly the same thing. I don't do New Year's, I don't make resolutions, I have nothing to do with it all. But then they continued to say something like this, you know, it's going to be another shit year, nothing ever changes, life's shit, you know, sorry about that, but they're going to live the same year as they did last year, that means. Somebody said on Facebook, it's pissing down with rain, what a shit new year, it's going to be shit, and that's about the context of their status. And then a female friend of mine really was very down on herself for some reason this morning. May have had a bit of drinking, you know, falling down water, we'll say, shall we. Basically saying there's going to be nothing good this year, it's just going to be the same as last year. You know, and that's all well and good, isn't it, really? And maybe it will, in fact it will for those people. Which is a real shame. It's just got me to thinking. Just a very quick video. Oh no, just a very quick video. When I look at my life, going back a bit, you know, I left school at 15. This is how my life changes and I evolve as a person. And I would like to think that we all do this really. So a new year is a bit of a new start, and it can bring about a new you and a new change and things like that if you want it to. Or you can tell yourself it won't and then live the same year over again. The choice is yours. But you know, if I think I left school at 15 and I started working in a warehouse when I was 15, all very exciting and what have you. 3 years later, we'll say I was 18, I'd left my job. I was actually unemployed for a while then when I was 18. By the time another 3 years, at 21, I was working on a farm. I decided that I'd like to be working outdoors. And you know, driving a few tractors around and things like that, really quite exciting. By the time I was about another 3 years, about 24, isn't it? I don't know what I was doing. Oh yeah, 24. I was working in a large supermarket. I didn't like it, but I did the whole year in a large supermarket, a brand new supermarket, so it was all very lovely and clean and things like that. By the time another 3 years went by, I was about 27, we'll say. What was I doing at 27? I remember where I was living at 27. I had my own place when I was 27. Can't really remember the job I was doing. Another 3 years I would have been 30, so I would have been living in the south of England. The house that I lived in a flat, then a house, but the house I lived in was ideally positioned for me. It was 4 miles to the beach one way and 4 miles to the New Forest the other way. So it was pretty good really. 3 years went on. I was working for the local council when I was about 33 for a gardening section of the local council. But I'd started to study psychology around the same time as well. 3 years went by, 36. I was living in Bournemouth in Dorset, moved into my house and I was buying my house. I was working for the council in a much higher job, so I had a team of people under me which consisted of, I think, 9 regular full-time staff and another 6 seasonal staff, something like that. So I was doing quite well. Still studying psychology, but also having a look at religion, philosophy and a few other different things. My brain was waking up and I was just enjoying whatever I was studying and things like that. I also did a couple of night schools and various different classes were coming my way and things like that. Moving on 3 years, 39. I was still in Dorset, still in the same job, and it was coming to an end and I'd kind of lost heart in the job, but it didn't matter because I wanted to go down the route of teaching all of a sudden. So I started to study teaching and things like that. but I was also still studying psychology and a couple of things, you know, just enjoying what I was doing really. Um, when I was 41, moving on in 3 years, aren't we? So about 41, my mum wasn't very well, so I'd moved back to Oxfordshire, not to care for her, but just to be near her, because I'd spent maybe 18 months as up and down the motorways, and I got bored of it. The job was coming to an end because they got 2 new bosses that I didn't like, and I didn't feel that it was right for me anymore, just fancied a change, so away I went. So at 41, I'd bought my own house again, that was in Oxfordshire. I started my own business initially, which was a valeting business, you know, so I used to go around, travel around in my little van, valeting cars to quite a high standard really. By 41, 2, 3, by 44, I'd got a degree in psychology, but I was also studying a couple of other little different things and what have you, because I like to sort of push my mind as much as I can. Not sure what I was doing for a living really. Oh, I'd done a lot of different things. Counselling, I did a CBT thing, I did some seminars and some things like that. Lots of different sort of things really, to do with the brain. I also worked in some secure mental health units and things. 3 more years, 47, I was working in a large college with autistic students, and I'd finished and completed my teaching. It's not really a teaching degree, it was a city-in guild I'd done, and lots of other things. And I got about 40 something certificates, 49 certificates I think it was, over like a 3 or 4 year period. So that was 47. By the time I was 50, well, obviously I was living in Ishi. I'd sold my house. I mean, prior to that, I was working all over the place really, to do with sometimes autistic people, sometimes all manner of things really. But yeah, by the time I was 50, I celebrated my birthday in Ishi, which was wonderful. So another 3 years later, still in Ishi, but been everywhere really, from Dorset and Devon right up to Cumbria and Scotland, and across to Wales and you know, Norfolk and all the rest of it. So seen a lot of England, a lot of people, a lot of places, a lot of beautiful views, been to a lot of places, and had a blast, had a good time really, you know. And amongst all that stuff, there was you know, relationship breakdowns. I got sacked from a job once. Obviously I've had a heart attack, the osteoarthritis has kicked in sadly. I've struggled to drive at times, various illnesses, ailments and things like that, but also a million and one good times and special times and things like that. I've had 2 dogs in my life that, like full-time dogs. I've had 3 or 4 dogs really, but full-time dogs. I had a dog called Bowie. I called him Bowie because he had one blue eye and one brown. And now I got Bodie, who's got 2 amber coloured eyes. So for me, you know, what I'm saying is life is evolving, life does change. You do change as a person. If you think about it and you want something, then you reach out and grab it. That's what I do in my life, you know. So where does that leave me? You know, in another 3 years' time, I would imagine, because I don't know, but I'd imagine I'd be in Brick somewhere. I will have sold Ishi. Hopefully I'll still be doing my art, and just living a quiet, peaceful life really, you know. I've been involved in a lot of big, noisy things in my life, we'll say, you know, and that's from going to court a lot over the poll tax many years ago, from being very politically minded, from its, you know, going to raves and festivals and all sorts, forevermore kind of thing, you know, rock concerts, etc. But I live a very quiet, peaceful life now, you know. I discovered meditation when I was in my 20s, and that works for me. It keeps me on a nice level, which is great. So yeah, I will still evolve in whatever way I will evolve, you know. But for those people that just say, oh, life's shit, you know, every year's exactly the same, I think it will be for you, you know, but then I think really you're happy knowing that and happy living that same year over and over again. That's what I personally think. Otherwise, you'd be reaching out, wouldn't you? You'd be looking for something new. That's what I think. So for me, life is all about change and growth and evolving and reaching out and looking around and thinking, what else can I do? What else is out there? What would I like to do? What can I try? Things like that. I mean, I've just given you there a 5-minute glimpse into my life. There was a million one other things in my life, obviously, but, you know, life for me is about growing, you know, and becoming a different person as well. It's change, and it's creating the life that I want around me, but also inside me. So I create myself. In many respects, I create myself, you know. Anyway, I just thought I'd say all that, really. You know, if your thoughts do control how you are as a person, and you're thinking, oh, every day is rubbish. Every day is rubbish. If your thoughts control you as a person and you think, okay, it's raining, perhaps it'd be nice tomorrow. Or, okay, it's a day indoors, let's do some art, let's write a poem, let's cuddle my dog. You know, I'd go on the internet, I might have a little nap, I might make a Slurpee, make a phone call to a long lost friend. I'll make it a happy day, you know, then it becomes a happier day. So life is how you think about it, really, that's what I'm saying. But it's each their own, you've got to do whatever you do. Take care of yourselves, be well, try not to go out in the rain. Ta-ra then.